Well, today I thought I would share with you how I'm making some creamed honey today. For that you will need, I'm making a batch of about 5 kilos. You'll of course need your jars ready to go for that quantity. And I like to use glass. I don't like to use plastic at all. Anywhere, wherever I can avoid it, I do. But you do need at least one plastic container. It's not a necessity, but you can actually check the hardness of your creamed honey, which makes it a lot easier. It's a bit hard to squeeze glass without, and the only other way is, just scrape a little bit off inside one of the jars, and just makes it a bit difficult because it doesn't look as good if it's a gift. Also like to use some of the jars. I mix in a little bit of cinnamon. Ground cinnamon is the best. The only thing to look out for is once you do mix it in, until it actually sets, it will float up to the top, so you will need to clean it off or scrape it off the top just to make it more appealing. And of course you'll need your seed creamed honey. I'll just buy these, pick a really nice one, pick one that you do like. I just poked a little bit in here. You'll need a spoon of course to scrape this in, just to show the consistency of this. All it is crystallized honey. There's lots of people think that it's actually been whipped and or that there's cream being added to it, but that is not the case. It's just a finer form of crystallization of the honey. Honey crystallizes naturally as it is, but these crystals are just much finer. I don't know if that's focusing, I don't think it is, but it's just a much finer crystallization that makes it such a smooth texture. Why? It's actually a texture of Vaseline, if you like. It really is. Why use creamed honey? Well, one reason would be because your crystallization is so fine, so your honey will not crystallize to the crunchier texture that you might get sometimes when you leave honey for a little longer, especially if it's real honey. The shop-bought honey are often, diluted and preheated, etc. But if you use the real honey, then it will crystallize a lot faster. Excuse me. Now, of course, the other benefit is putting it on your bread. It's a lot easier to, especially if you have little kids, to spread creamed honey than it is to spread normal honey, which just runs everywhere. So it's just a different way to serve the same product, really, without any effect on its quality. So I might be skipping through a few bits and pieces here, but basically you just need to scrape all of this into the 5 kilos of honey. So I've got 500 grams. It's about 1 to 10 is a recommended amount. It doesn't have to be. It just takes a little longer to set. But your crystals really, for a good distribution, 1 to 10 is said to be just about right. So you just spoon that in. Ideally, look, we've got quite a hot temperature here, so room temperature is around 33, which is plenty. I don't like to heat honey, but if you are in cold climates, you do want to have it a little warm. I certainly wouldn't warm it any warmer than 37, which is usually the temperature of an active hive. So it is no enzymes and no benefits are destroyed at that temperature. But scrape it all in. I'll scrape the rest in a little later. You have a spatula and mix it all the way through. I won't keep this on all the time. Try not to get too many air bubbles through it, because it does, well, they can go away, but and most of them will, but it does leave them throughout, so the less air bubbles the better. And just mix it through until you get a nice white consistency, so that the seed honey is distributed all the way through. Now, while you would be warming the honey, is simply just to cancel out, as I understand it, cancel out all of the, or dissolve all of the natural crystal formations that are already present inside the honey. And also, you don't want to ever heat the honey up again once it has been creamed, simply because you will just dissolve the crystal formations, and you just have to do this process one more time. Otherwise, it just crystallizes into its natural form, and you don't want that. How this was created? Well, you might know better than me, but just from my research and reading, basically they've used powdered honey into very, very fine powder. They dried it and ground it into very, very, very fine powder, which then allowed it to form these crystals. And that's how they're done. Apparently, that's where the original seed comes from. You can use the seed, reuse it, make your own seed. So long as you're happy, I would just pick. I typically use my own. Don't buy them, but just didn't have any on hand at the moment. But what you would do is just make sure you pick quality seed. You want to make sure you don't have something that has not gone quite right, because your natural tendency of honey is to go into its sugar format, or sugar form, which is larger and so nowhere near as smooth. So if you're in doubt, just buy a new batch, 1 to 10, mix it through like this into a nice consistency, and I don't even know if you can see that, but it's coming through nicely. You want to get rid of all of these white, see the white streaks. You certainly want to mix it long enough until they are all gone. From here, I would pour them straight into the jar. I'm only using a small container, so I don't have the gate, the honey gate. But I just pour it straight from there, because it's only a few jars I'll be doing. If you're doing a larger batch, you'd want to have your honey gate so that you can pour it easily into your jars. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Once this is done, I pour it in. The ones that I'd like to have cinnamon or sometimes ground cloves are fantastic as well. Any flavors that you like. I've even heard chili honey and all sorts of flavors that people think of. You just mix that into the jar, scrape it off the top, because it will float to the top until it sets. So the first day or two you might want to just mix it through one more time, just to leave enough powder throughout the creamed honey, and thereafter just enjoy. So hopefully you found this useful. I might just cut through once this is all done and poured. I might show you the final result, the final product, and give it a go. It's certainly worth it. Just something different. Another benefit, it travels really, really well when you go camping, because as you might have experienced yourself, it really does make a very sticky mess. The typical normal honey that you pour onto your toast, this you just scrape on, and it's great. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're liking these videos, and send me your comments. Any feedback's much appreciated. I'm not an expert, so always looking for a better way to do things. So feel free to leave some comments. Thank you very much. And this is how it looks. So this is the clear, no cinnamon. Now you just let that sit for, it takes usually about 2 weeks. Here's the soft one to be able to squeeze it. And I thought I'd show you as well. This is just going to add a little bit more cinnamon to make it a bit more flavoursome. So, I don't know, it depends how much you like cinnamon, but I'd say about a teaspoon per kilo is plenty. You would mix that through very, very well. Again, you don't want to have any, anything floating around, but as I said before, it's going to come up to the top of the honey, so you will need to remix it inside the jar. Then you can add any powdered flavours at this point. Once that's done, just pour those into the remaining jars, and hopefully that'll be it. This is the outcome. You can clearly see the colour difference between the cinnamon and just honey on its own. So in 2 weeks' time that'll set nicely, and we can enjoy. We'll give them away as gifts. The little bubbles on top, they'll filter through. You can scrape them off if you like, but it will harden. And on top of the cinnamon one we'll have the powder, which we'll just scrape off. So not difficult to do, just a little bit of work. This is the outcome. Looks great, tastes great. No reason not to do it. Talk to you next time.